Thank you, Chairman Crapo, and thank you to our witness for being here today. Mr. Marcus, Arizonans have heard a lot of promises from Facebook over the years about privacy. For example, Facebook promised when it acquired WhatsApp that it would not scrape our message data to deliver targeted ads. But 2 years later, Facebook broke its promise and monetized our personal message data. With real doubts about Facebook's commitment to privacy, Arizonans are rightfully skeptical about the proposed digital currency Libra. The goal of Libra is to reach the unbanked and underbanked, which is a noble goal. But it's important to remember that those who haven't utilized a bank or credit card will be more susceptible to scammers and predatory practices. Your head of product, Kevin Wheel, told TechCrunch on June 18th that there are, quote, no plans for the Libra Association to take a role in actively vetting, end quote, developers of wallets, exchanges, or other related apps. But failing to vet developers would expose Arizonans to scammers, which is unacceptable. Do you stand by Kevin's statement?
Senator, first I want to correct something, which is that WhatsApp is fully encrypted, so even Facebook doesn't have access to messages on WhatsApp. But to answer your question, which is a very important one, I would say two things. One is that while the Libra Association will not get in the way of developers developing things, we will need, as an association, to find the right approach to ensure that publishing services on the Libra network has controls. And the one thing I want to say as well is that financial literacy is really important, and that at the Libra Association there will be grant and investment made into financial literacy. And as far as the Calibra wallet is concerned, not only will we have consumer protections that will protect your constituents if they ever have a fraud issue, but we will make sure that there's appropriate education in the product from the get-go.
Well, that was very helpful information, but that response doesn't actually address my concern. Because if Libra's goal is to reach a population that studies show are especially vulnerable to financial fraud and abuse, without more vetting processes for these developers, Arizonans will be more likely to be scammed using Libra, which can jeopardize their hard-earned savings and financial security. So while we're on the subject of scams, here's a hypothetical scenario for you. Let's say an unsavory app developer that's based in Pakistan utilizes an exchange that's based in Thailand to rip off an Arizonan who's using a wallet that was built in Spain. So they steal all of their Libra. And that, of course, is minted by an association based in Switzerland. So which law enforcement or governmental agency in which country does the Arizonan call to seek his or her legal and financial recourse in this situation?
That's an excellent question, Senator. And the answer to that is that your constituents will likely use an American, U.S.-based wallet provider that will have consumer protections and that will make your constituents whole if something bad happens to them.
So in my scenario, this Arizonan was using a wallet that was built in Spain. Would they still have access to American recourse for legal and financial problems?
Senator, it will depend on the wallet consumer protection, the same way that today you have different consumer protections and services offered by different financial institutions and others. So, and I believe that it will be the role of the Libra Association to ensure that there's proper education so that consumers can make informed choices.
Well, I think the point here is that despite having legal and technical background in this room, this is a difficult question to answer. You posited that they would likely be using an American wallet, but if they were using a wallet from another country, that complicates the answer. This is a real challenge, and Arizonans deserve answers on what rights they would have as consumers and how they would use them. I also have some national security concerns. Despite granting anonymity, traditional cryptocurrencies are not the first choice of drug cartels, terrorists, and human traffickers because cryptocurrencies aren't very easy to use. But Libra is not a cryptocurrency. It's a digital currency that promises both anonymity and ease of use, which raises concerns about its potential exploitation for illicit purposes. I'm concerned that drug cartels and human traffickers, major problems, of course, in Arizona and border regions, may try and use Libra to finance their operations along our southern border. Your testimony says that you'll comply with the rules set by the Office of Foreign Assets Control with respect to financial sanctions. But if a drug cartel or one of its sanctioned persons attempts to complete a transaction using Libra, would you comply with OFAC policy, or would you allow a drug cartel transaction to be added to the ledger?
Senator, first of all, Libra is not anonymous, so we will have an AML program, and as far as the Libra wallet is concerned, we will have full KYC and AML programs. As a result, those types of activities will be very difficult to conduct on this network, and you have my commitment that we will take the time before launch to ensure that the network and the proper measures are taken to avoid this network to be used for other purposes than it was designed for.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, my time's expired. This is just a proposal, but folks in my state are concerned, and we need better answers. So I look forward to working with you in the committee on this. I yield back.
Thank you. Senator Cotton.
Mr. Marcus, thank you for your